I'm gagging. Jeff's gagging.
We'll get into that disgusting soundbite here in a little bit. But hey, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. What's up? It's DeHuff. It's another episode of DeHuff Uncensored. A lot to get to. Some crazy audio from a show that I just can't wrap my head around of what people do for money. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And remember, today's show is presented to you by High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. And of course, Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season, whether it's baseball, golf, soccer, right up to the top fights in UFC, MMA, and of course, boxing. They got every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. But when the games are over, head on over to their online casino and get in on the game of blackjack, poker, or even unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to betonline.ag today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here. A lot of headlines to get into, like I was saying, but give you a quick recap of my exciting weekend. I got to admit, it's not like for everybody, but I was very, I'm very impressed with my weekend. It was good. Went up to Estes Park with my kids on Friday. Had a lot of fun till they lost a bag of candy. We're like walking around. It's just me and the kids having a good time. We start things off going to Rocket Fizz, which is a candy shop. They got several locations all across the state, and I'm sure other states. So we get some candy, walking around, have lunch, and go get ice cream. Next thing I know, we're walking back to the car. And I'm like, where's the bag of candy? I don't know. You had it. I didn't have it. You had it. Blah, blah, blah. It was literally, we're all pointing the finger at each other. Long or short of it, after going back to everywhere we had gone, looking for the bag of candy, couldn't find it. So it wasn't that expensive. So we went back to the candy shop and we got some more candy. I'm sure the people at Rocket Fizz were like, yeah, whatever. Don't care if you lost it. Thanks for the business. But it was good. It was good. It was fun. I went out on a date with my wife because the kids stayed up with some family members at their house. And we went axe throwing. I've never gone axe throwing before, and I thought that was fun. There's a place called Yukon Axe at the Orchard Town Center up here in the Westminster area, and it was fun. I gotta admit, we were both pretty damn good. Got a bullseye, and if you get a bullseye, they like to give you these coins that say, "Hey, you got a bullseye." I don't know. It's something silly, but it was pretty cool. I gotta be honest. Zombie apocalypse. I'm getting ready. Getting ready. But that was cool. It was a lot of fun. We tied, by the way. She likes to think that maybe she won ultimately, but I'll take the tie over a loss. Okay. Then I donated blood for the first time. That's unrelated to, axe throwing. It's not like I had a wound and they're like, you know what? While it's open, we'll just take some blood. No, I I don't know why I said that. I donated blood. That was interesting. The only problem is now I got this bruise on my arm. I've gotten blood drawn before, never had a bruise. Now I look like I'm a whatever it is that when you inject yourself, whatever kind of drug person does that. I don't know. That's heroin, right? Yeah, that's what I look like right now. So I got a fucking bruise on my arm. Be like, sorry, there's a needle mark. I shouldn't laugh because that's a horrible problem if you have it. But anyway, now I'm going to be judged by all the people in the neighborhood when I go to the pool with the kids later. Uh-oh, he's got bruises on his arm. You know what that means? And he has a podcast. Oh my God, he is total druggy. Call the Child Protective Services. Fucking assholes. People, you judgmental fucks. Anyway, speaking of judging people, let's go ahead and do it. Let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Listen, when you watch sports, there's certain levels of toughness. At the top is usually any form of hockey. if you're a hockey player, you're just tough as nails. Then a big gap below that, football players. Then way below that is, soccer and basketball are kind of one and the same. You're a bunch of pussies. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it. Baseball's in between football and basketball, right? Just barely above basketball, because I've seen some baseball players that are like, oh shoot, I gotta hang now. Oh my god, I can't play. Oh my god. So the reason I bring that up is there's certain levels of toughness. And an Australian field hockey player named Matt Dawson, he broke his ring finger prior to the Paris Olympics, which start up, this week. Oh, that's exciting. So the doctor said, you're going to need to wrap this up and let it heal properly. And essentially saying, you're going to miss the Olympics. Sorry. So he's like, fuck it. Let me talk to a plastic surgeon. What are the options if I just get it cut off? It's near the tip of his finger that needed to heal. And the other option was to get it amputated. And the guy's like, he thought about it for 2 seconds. And he's like, yeah, let's get it cut off. And he got part of his finger cut off so he could play. Now, last time he was in the Olympics in 2020, him and his team won silver. So it's not like they're just some scrubs wanting to play and maybe they advance. They have true Olympic medal goals that are obtainable. And would you do that? If you were somebody that had dedicated your entire life to a sport or any sort of, job or whatever, and if you had a busted finger and they're like, the only way you can continue on and achieve those goals, which are very likely, you're going to have to cut it off. Would you do it? I think I would. But I can't imagine a basketball player doing that. Now, that being said, if it was on the left hand, I still don't think they would do it. But if they're dominant right hand and they needed to remove like the tip of their finger, I don't think that I'm not a professional athlete in any realm. But you tell me, if you're an avid basketball player with your non-shooting hand, could you afford to lose the tip of it and continue to play? Because I can't see a basketball player ever doing that, mainly because they're a bunch of wusses. Not all of them, but most of them, okay? I just couldn't. If they could continue to play, if the healing time was dramatically cut in half by cutting off part of their finger, do you think a basketball player would do it? No, I don't think so. Don't think so. Hockey player? Absolutely. Well, you need to cut off my arm and I can still play? Sure. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Can we do it now so I can get back in for the third period? That's what they would do. Because hockey players and field hockey players are just a different breed. It's like rugby. You guys are just tough as nails. Then you start going down to the other sports, and I just don't see it. But that being said, well, see, you still need. Here's the thing with the field hockey: you need to be able to grip the stick. He's not going to have the same amount of grip strength. I don't know. That's fascinating to me. I can't imagine any other sports really doing that, especially baseball, basketball, and definitely soccer. Soccer is just, they fall over like if somebody looks at them. Oh, God, get a red card up there, please, for the love of God. Naked and Afraid, one of the craziest TV shows you could ever watch. Well, they have this new spin-off of it Naked and Afraid, last one standing. Survivalists are eating elephant poop. Basically, there's seeds inside of elephant poop. Here's some audio from that.
You're chewing them or
Yeah,
crushing them?
chewing up Mopani seeds, it is way, way faster. I know we have to win, and every second matters.
This is like gross. We gotta like put Mopani seeds into our mouth that was just pulled out of poo and not rinsed off.
They taste absolutely awful. They taste how you would imagine. I'm gagging. Jeff's gagging.
We got a spitter. That's so gross. Would you ever do something like that? I don't think I could handle that. Just there's nothing that I would want. It's like, remember back in the day, the Fear Factor, when they would just eat wild, nasty stuff like bull testicles that are just not cooked. They're raw, and then they had like little blood balls and stuff like that. It was just disgusting. Fear Factor just became that. What are you willing to eat? And then eventually it lost its steam and lost its appeal. And I think people were just like, yeah, what are they eating today? How can you top eating raw bull testicles and blood balls and stuff like that? You can't top that. I mean, I think that eating those things is worse than eating seeds out of elephant poop, only because it's not like the elephants eat like a bunch of meat and stuff like that. It's you when you watch the video of it, it's very dry, very grainy. It's like cracking open some like a loaf of bread almost. I say that as somebody that's not eating it. I would never put myself in that situation. That being said, I don't think I could never last on Naked and Afraid. Mainly because I don't want to be naked, and two, not what you would call a survivalist. I barely survive my daily life as it is, living in a house with shelter and access to food and running water. I throw me out into Naked and Afraid? No, I would die within like 20 minutes. How did he die? Fuck if I know. We just got off the truck. Oh, that's gross. Would you ever do something like that? I can't imagine getting to the point where I sign up for a game where I sit there and go, I could be eating some pretty nasty stuff. No, I can't do that. I say the whole elephant poop is probably, in comparison to other things, not that bad, but I'm not doing it. I've seen that with Bear Grylls, that survivalist guy from the UK, former UK Special Forces guy, where he just shows you different scenarios. People need to stop the fuck, quit freaking out because they're like, this is all set up. He could easily escape from that. He's just showing you how to survive different situations. Okay? He's not just dropped off into literally nowhere by himself, and he has one camera with him, and then that's how they're shooting it. No, he has a camera crew. They're setting up different scenarios to show people how to survive. Anyway, there was a time where he was just like, if you're really desperate for water, what you need to do is find some elephant dung, and then you squeeze it. And he's like squeezing elephant shit all over his face. Oh, that was gross. That was fresh. The stuff that these people were doing on Naked and Afraid, it was dry. So it wasn't as bad. I think if it was like slopping wet, super fresh, it might be a different story. But that being said, they're still, you heard it in the audio, they're gagging up a storm. It was disgusting. I just can't imagine putting myself in that situation. But I'm not a survivalist. I know a few people that are really into survival, type things. And maybe I'll check with them. They probably want to do it. I know like one person that I think could do a good job with this. And she's all about like hiking and stuff like that. I don't know if she would do the naked part, but I could see her doing the survivalist type of thing. I know one person like that. Everybody else, I don't know. I don't know. Oh God, just get. And I think this was like day one that they started eating elephant poop. And let's be honest, that's what they're doing. They're eating elephant poop. And if that's day one, what the fuck is going to happen on day 10? No, you're going to be eating like a fucking carcass, like raw. You got to go hunt down this, wild boar. Then you got to eat its liver straight from there. That's the challenge. Oh my God, it's gross. What's crazy? Speaking of animals, have you ever seen the movie Cocaine Bear? We did a little. I did an episode on the real story of Cocaine Bear, and the movie. I think it's hilarious. I believe Elizabeth Banks produced it and directed it. Maybe directed. I don't know, but she did a great job. It's funny. It's gory, and I think it's worth watching. But it's obviously a stretch from the truth. The truth is that, yes, a drug cartel dumped a bunch of cocaine over a certain stretch. I can't remember exactly where it's at. I want to say somewhere in Tennessee. I could be wrong. It's around in there. But what ended up happening is like a bear ate some and then it like immediately had a heart attack. But the movie takes it and goes, well, it would be crazy if it just went on this like bender and just like was high as fuck and just attacked people. Right? And it's hilarious. It's mauling people, ripping people to shreds. Good family fun. Right? Well, now scientists are saying we got a problem in the waters just off of Brazil with cocaine sharks. Same kind of concept where cocaine makes its way into the water system, whether it's from cartels losing packages or the fact that people do a lot of cocaine in Brazil and it's going off into the waters. Basically, these sharks are consuming the cocaine and dying. It would be hilarious if they were just on a cocaine rampage, right? But they're not. They're dying, and that's really sad. And it's really bad for the environment out there. They did do a movie, like a spinoff, Cocaine Shark. They did. Didn't watch it. Listen, I had my fill with Cocaine Bear. I thought that was good. But it's sad. It tells you what kind of problems we have in this world where just the water drainage system and everything and just drugs in general, how they can affect the environment around us. It's not a funny story. Jesus Christ, I'm just telling you, it's something out there that is true. You got cocaine. So if you're looking, I wonder though, what if you had like a cocaine salmon, right? Cocaine salmon, like the salmon like consumed a bunch of cocaine. If you ate it, would you get high? That's interesting. I don't know how that stuff works. Don't know. I don't know the chemical shit. That would be horrible. Like, eat some salmon, go meet some friends. Next day, you got a drug test at work. Like, oh, fuck. You failed for cocaine. All I do is eat salmon. That's it. I'm clean living. Oh my God, that's horrible. Speaking of clean living, High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge is the first and only licensed canna bar in the state of Colorado. It works like an alcohol bar, but it's for cannabis, okay? Weed Bear should have been a thing. Weed Bear should have been a movie. After they did Cocaine Bear, they should have done Weed Bear. And Weed Bear could have, made his way over to High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. He could have. And Weed Bear could have purchased up to an ounce of flour or 8 grams of concentrate, maybe even some pre-rolls or edibles. And he could have consumed what he wanted on site and took the rest home. Because you can do that. I don't think they serve bears, though. They don't. I'm going to go on a limb and say, no, they don't. But what's cool about High Society is they provide everything you need to consume the cannabis with. And what's also great is when you go in there, you're going to notice it. First thing, they got 7 big screen TVs so you can catch all your favorite sporting events like the Olympics. Yeah, you could even do a watch party. It's really cool. You just got to go in there. They got Nintendo Switches available to rent, tons of free board games, playing cards, coloring books. They got dominoes. They got a quarter arcade with pinball machines, vintage Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and more. It's such a great place. In fact, they have tons of events going on, whether it's comedy shows on the first and third Friday of every month. They got live music, open mic nights, drag bingo, craft nights, puff and paints, game nights, and twice a week they do Texas Hold'em games. And they got a ton more. You got to go check them out. They're open daily from noon to 10. Happy hour runs from noon to 4:20 Monday through Friday. Tuesdays is industry days, and anyone with an employee badge gets 15% off all day. Also, on Thursdays, ladies, listen up. It's Ladies' Day on Thursdays. All day, ladies get 20% off. You're welcome. Hey! Anyway, High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. It's just 9 minutes from Coors Field. Like I said, open noon to 10. Got to be at least 21 or older to consume. No outside product. Just buy it there. High Society's at 7667 Washington Street. Just GPS to High Society. I follow a lot of weird stuff on social media, and this popped up. Not Common Facts had a post, and what caught my eye is they had some really attractive lady on the picture. I'm just being honest with you. Fuck, God. And this is the headline of the post. It says men spend almost an entire year of their lives staring at women. Women, how often do you think you stare at dudes? Do you think I never see that. I never see a study that says the other thing. Let's stop for a second. Ladies, you sit there and say how guys are perverts and blah 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 blah. I've seen you guys, I've heard you guys as well sit there and just talk and stare up a storm over dudes that are quote unquote attractive. You are just as guilty. Don't act like you're not. Now, that being said, a lot of guys are fucking perverts and take it too far. And if you're going to stare at a lady, you look straight ahead and use your peripheral vision. Okay? Come on. Don't be so fucking obvious with it. Be like, oh, look at that. Look at the flowers over there. And meanwhile, you're just like desperately trying to see out the side of your eyes. Come on. Look straight ahead. If you have the ability to make your eyes go cockeyed, and then one eye, whatever eye is closer to your lady, that one's straight ahead, then your cockeye. Is that how the word cockeye got invented? Because you're looking with your genitals to the side, one eye straight, the other goes cockeyed. It's looking for your wiener. That's what. We discovered something today, didn't we? The true origin of cockeyed. You're welcome. I learned something today. Hey, kids, if you're listening for some reason and you got bad parents and they're letting you listen to this, go to school when it starts up and say, hey, guess what I learned over the summer? I learned the origin of the word cockeyed. They're all, please tell us, little Timmy. Well, when an attractive woman walks by and you want to look, but you don't want to get in trouble, you look with your cock's eye. Anyway, you know what we need to do right now? I'm sorry. I have issues. I'm sorry.
Right, as always.
Oh, stop it, Ken. Let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Shannon. She says, did you see this? $2 million Powerball winner Edwin Castro shows off his model girlfriend. And then Shannon adds, if you were that rich, wouldn't you always be sus about relationships? Yes, absolutely. Sus means suspicious, in case you didn't know. Yes. I don't know how you could, if you had that kind of money, and then all of a sudden you having these attractive people. We were just talking about attractive people. You started having attractive people being more and more into you. It would be hard to really be in a relationship because you're like, are they with me because they like me? Or are they with me because they like my money? That would be, I guess, in a weird way, that's a good problem to have. That's where, like, in all honesty, don't get married. If if you're if you are single and you win the lottery, don't get married. Unless that person has a buttload of money too. Because there's a good chance the person is just wanting your money. And that large percent, it's like in the 70% or something like that of people that win lottery end up going bankrupt within a few years. Don't get married. If you're going to blow through your money, have some fun with it. Go out, travel, bang a bunch of people. That's right. That's my philosophy. Connery, what the fuck you doing here? I don't get mad. I was banging your mother. Fuck you, Connery. Oh my God. I said don't get mad. But here's my philosophy when it comes to being a billionaire or somebody with a lot of wealth is go out there, bang a lot, and then go home. Don't get married. You don't want to put a ring on that finger. You don't. Okay, thanks, Connery. Hey, by the way, tell your mother I left my watch on a nightstand. Because again, I banged her. Fuck. Stop. No. Bad. Bad. Yeah, I don't think I get yeah, just enjoy life, but don't get married. Not for a while, not unless you guys date for several years after you won and see if they can handle who you truly are. But it would be hard to date and have a legitimate relationship after winning a bunch of money like that, assuming that they knew you won. So it's just something to think about. Listen, if you get into that problem, good for you. If you win the lottery, good for you. I always accept donations. I do. I do. But if you win the lottery, one, that's fantastic. But two, it's if you're single, I think that I would hope that if I won the lottery that I would be married, like with my wife, because she knows what the fuck to do with shit, and she's smarter than me, and she doesn't always just want to, like me. I would just be like, "Oh, this is fantastic. Let's go this place, let's go that place." And she's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, we need to make sure we're smart with this money." Like that's what you want, but you don't want somebody that wasn't attached to you prior to start telling you to do things with the money. That's the hard part. But anyway. Hey, big news that just rocked the country, the United States over the weekend. We all saw it coming. This was not shocking. I know some people out there be like, "What? Huh? Huh?" No, we've all been talking about this for months now. And it finally happened. Joe Biden steps aside and endorses Kamala Harris, his current vice president, and he's endorsing her to run for president and represent the Democratic Party. It's about fucking time, Joe. Jesus. I'm sure it. We were talking about this last week after the assassination thing and whatnot. It's you could see that this needed to happen months ago, and it's kind of fucked up that he waited so long to pull back. And part of me wonders, is that partly because of the people around him, surrounded by a bunch of yes men and people that aren't afraid to actually tell him how it is, or is he just a stubborn old fuck? I mean, he's old. he can go in that category of a stubborn old cuss, right? And it kind of reminds me of when you look at a football team and you have somebody like that, like say Brett Favre or Tom Brady, that just is refusing to let go. And there's somebody younger and up and coming that could take over and just do the job and get enough time, enough reps in to actually try to make an impact. But if they drag their feet and they wait and they wait and they wait, and then they decide to go, you know what, I'm done, it kind of fucks over the next person. Look at this. I don't care if you're a Trumper or not. Just look at it from that perspective. He kind of fucked her over by waiting so long. And the good thing is now you should have a more competent debate coming up, right? Whether you like her or not. I don't fucking give a shit if you like her or not. I'm just saying from the standpoint of he was clearly, done. It just, he refused to put a fork in him. Now, what happens is, again, whether you're on one side or the other, you're already seeing it. And it needs to stop, but it's not, because that's the society we're in, is now you can enter into the discussion of a bunch of sexist, racist assholes that are going to be like, well, I don't know, I can't vote for her because she has a vagina and she's black. Oh my God, I can't do that. Fuck God. What do you guys like, two? You just don't like something because of the way it looks? Jesus. Ew, gross. Oh, I'm not going to eat the asparagus. Ugh. Fuck, man, grow up. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, are they a good person? And are they going to do right by this country? That's what you need to look at. And if that leads you to the Trump camp, fine. If that leads you to the Kamala Harris camp, that's fine. Don't base shit off of something so ignorant as on sex and race. Come on. Grow the fuck up. It's ridiculous. Really, I don't care. Somebody this morning, they're like, they should have had Hillary Clinton run instead. I'm like, no, I think we're all good on that one. No. I think we could all agree that that's a bad idea. I don't know enough about politics, but I think that would have been a negative. A negative. Now, I don't believe it's official that she's going to be the candidate as of yet. But I know that the President, Joe Biden, is supposed to, because he has COVID and shit. He's old and he has COVID. Probably not a good mix. But later this week, they're anticipating that he's going to come out and make a speech to the country and officially give his endorsement, because he did it via social media. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see. It's just another element to the chaotic political scene that we're in the United States. And you have the horrific assassination attempt, and now you got people downplaying it, because Trump has a Band-Aid. I haven't seen his newly pierced ear. I want to see what it looks like. Is it really fucked up, or is it just really just a nasty gash? Like I told you before, listen, I'm not saying that he didn't get injured. What I'm saying is, if you've ever like shaved your head and you nicked your head, man, those things fucking bleed like crazy. Your ears and your head just bleed nonstop. But either way, he survived an assassination attempt, which is disgusting that the whole thing happened from the get-go. But at the end of the day, let's throw sex and race out of politics. I know that's asking a lot. It is, and it's never going to happen. But Jesus, man, think about it. Does it fucking matter? No, it doesn't fucking matter. Man, people. It's just our system is broken, and somehow it needs to be fixed. And I don't know. I still don't know how that we can do that without a massive reset. And a massive reset is a conversation I don't even want to get into because it's just horrifying. We got a problem in this country. We do. And it's going to be a very interesting time period between now and the election and in the election to the actual, you know, swearing in date. So it's sad that we're in this craziness of politics because it's just getting worse and worse. Because I remember as a kid, you're going through history class and social studies, whatever, and then you talk about like mudslinging and stuff like that, and I remember learning about that and how that's just the idea of um, candidates, throwing, you know, bad information or just hurling slurs or just nonsense at the other candidate just to get an advantage. And it really wasn't that bad when I was growing up, but we're in a time period now where that's perfectly acceptable. And that's just disgusting. We should be better, but again, we're not. We're not. We're not. So again, I don't care whose side you're on. But don't be a racist, sexist dickhead because Kamala Harris is being endorsed and she could potentially be the Democratic candidate. Who gives a shit? She has a vagina. Who cares? God. Oh my God, her skin's darker than mine. Ugh. Fucking redneck. Who cares? Who cares? Just look at what they're about and then make your decision there. Okay? Anyway, listen, at the end of the day, are you a good person? Okay? Just be a good person. That's it. That's it. Don't get swept up and consumed by the nonsense of politics because it can just make you turn into a horrible person. And deep down you're a better person than that. Okay? It's easy to get swept up into that. It is. I get it. I get it. It's easy to make fun of, like, Joe Biden because he's old as fuck, eating his ice cream cone in the corner, going, "Hey, can I smell your hair?" And then he's like talking to a plant, thinking it's like some chick, right? Or then you got Donald Trump over there in the back of a bus grabbing somebody by the pussy. I don't know, or at least talking about it. And listen, and whatever else. Okay, it's craziness, craziness. Let's listen, you and me, let's try to be better. Let's try to be better. Okay. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you chuckled a little bit in this episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. Big thanks to High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. And of course, Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. It's the Huff Uncensored. You guys have an amazing day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.